From the Kansas City Public Schools, you are watching KCPS-TV. Our stories, our schools, our station.
Hello and welcome to KCPS-TV News. I'm Kimberly Check-Snader. This is our Year in Review show. On this newscast, we will take a look at the top stories in the Kansas City Public Schools during the 2013-2014 school year, a year in which the school district fought for accreditation. The fight for accreditation this school year began during this past summer. Students across the district were able to attend summer school in hopes of raising their grades and recovering courses that are needed to graduate. Matthew Locklear has a story.
This year's summer school was hosted at Central High School from June 3rd through the 28th. Ms. Wallace was the principal for the first time and says things were different this year.
But it's my understanding that in the past it was they worked more with Plato, which is an online virtual school, basically, where they're able to recapture their credits. And so this year, for this session, we have face-to-face time.
Ms. Wallace states that she believes this method works better than the virtual instruction teaching method.
I do, for some students, because they need that individual in front of them to model for them and to give them examples of how to work through the curriculum and understand the concept. It helps to have the classroom discussion amongst the students as well as from teacher to student.
This program is all for the best of these 755 students to benefit them as scholars.
It's helping the students recapture what they're lost. It's about making sure our students are here, that they're present and accounted for, and that they're learning what they need to learn so that they can be academically successful and thus be successful in life.
That was Matthew Locklear reporting. Summer school was a huge success in helping raise student achievement and the fight for accreditation. More than $32 million worth of school and facility upgrades happened throughout the district. The effort was called Making Our Facilities Better and was designed to create quality 21st century facilities that support student achievement. Recent upgrades include building upgrades at East and Northeast High School, as well as Benjamin Banneker Elementary. Also, both Paseo Academy and Lincoln Prep's auditoriums were renovated and revitalized. After 25 years, the Kansas City Public Schools remodeled the Interscholastic Stadium. It was determined that the stadium was in need of immediate upgrades to protect the safety, health, and user experience for student athletes. Former Chiefs ambassadors awarded a large grant to the Kansas City Public Schools. This school year, most of the IL games and all IL track meets were held at the new stadium. During the school year, district officials decided to slow down potential changes to school and attendance boundaries to better focus on student achievement in the fight for accreditation. Superintendent Green spoke on the slowing down of the facility updates and reiterated the importance of student achievement and how that was the #1 priority of the school district. The facilities planning process will be put on hold until the late summer/fall of 2014. Lincoln Prep's campus is now listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Located at 2111 Woodland Avenue, the school was added to the register as of January 15th. The campus has seen several additions and improvements during its lifespan, including a recent auditorium renovation in the summer of 2013. As a result of being on the National Register, the school is now eligible to receive federal grants and tax credits for rehabilitation. As you can see, the district had a busy summer improving our facilities. Then, in early August, summer came to an end with teachers and staff gathering for the 2013-2014 convocation.
Just a week before all classes started for the 2013-2014 school year, all teachers and staff gathered at Sheffield Family Life Center for convocation. This exciting pep rally for teachers across the district included elementary schools all the way up to our high school campuses. The day commenced by Paseo's own assistant principal, Miss Linda Watkins, singing the national anthem. After that, school board president, Mr. Eric West, led the teachers and staff to an enthusiastic roll call in which each school stood up and cheered, showing how excited they were for the school year to begin. It was at convocation that school board president, Mr. Eric West, hinted to teachers that our district's test scores had raised and that the school district had plans to appeal the Missouri State Testing Board to try and work towards provisional accreditation.
District, we made hard decisions, and our educators put in a tremendous amount of hard work, and that's why at the end of this month it'll be known that you have re-earned for this district provisional accreditation.
The response from those educators in the audience was heartwarming. It was made clear that the district's teachers and staff were proud of the progress their schools had made. The guest speaker, Dr. Myra Gordon, the Associate Provost at Kansas State University, spoke to the audience, giving them encouraging words of wisdom. The spunky speaker shook up the crowd and left an exhilarating audience to leave the building with a positive outlook on the upcoming school year.
As you can see, our teachers and staff are ready to go full speed into the school year and fight for accreditation. Before students could come back to school and resume their fight for accreditation, they had to meet some minor changes made to the enrollment guidelines. KCPS-TV's Matthew Locklear spoke to Paseo Principal Dr. Dennis Walker about those changes.
During the summer, Paseo and many other district schools' enrollment guidelines were updated. Students of the district had to have proof of residence with documentation in order to attend their school.
The biggest change is the fact that all students and parents must not officially re-enroll, but they must update the system and provide documentation that they are actually residents of the district.
Mr. Walker says this new system is accurate and efficient in recording and keeping track of our students.
We'll be able to be more accountable for our students and have a more accurate number of students that are actually part of the Kansas City Public School District. Right now we have about 17,000 students, but this will be a more accurate recording system, and we'll be able to report more accurate data, not only to the schools and to the district, but to the state as well.
The district encouraged students and parents to re-enroll as soon as possible so that their children would be able to go back to school. We have not only started the school year with the new district system, but we have also started with a brand new theme for this school year.
Our new theme this year is high quality instruction, every day, every hour, for every student.
Let's see how this school year goes with the new adjustments.
That was Matthew Locklear reporting. We hope that the district's decision to change enrollment guidelines will make for a more efficient process from students and their parents entering the Kansas City Public Schools. The district has revamped the child nutrition webpage. The KCPS Child Nutrition Department wants to make eating healthy easier for students and families. The new website will be great for families to get new information, including easy-to-read menus, nutrition facts, and easy-to-access free and reduced lunch applications. In addition to the school district revamping their webpage, a new website has been launched to further explain the district's Common Core standards. These standards are designed to ensure students will have the skills they need to compete in the future. These new standards will give students the skills needed to compete for college admission and succeed in the workplace. KCPS is working with parents, community members, and its employee team to determine if the school district should reopen middle schools beginning in the 2014-2015 school year. Learn more about the status of the middle school project by visiting the webpage at www.kcpublicschools.org/middleschools. This battle to prevent students from transferring and keep the state from taking control of the district dates back to the beginning of the school year. This fall, district officials gathered to discuss rising test scores and how those test scores affect accreditation. Paseo Academy hosted that press conference.
On Friday, August 23, 2013, school district officials, school board members, cabinet members, educators, students, and onlookers all gathered at Paseo Academy's art gallery to receive exciting news regarding the Kansas City Public Schools accreditation status. On January 1, 2012, the State Board of Education voted to remove the Kansas City Public Schools accreditation. The loss of accreditation caused major questions throughout the community. With the raising test scores this year, Dr. Green and the board plan to appeal the State Board's decision of loss of accreditation and fight for the regaining of provisional accreditation. Dr. Green urged press conference onlookers that the roller coaster of our school district's success was over.
The roller coaster is over. It is done in this school district, and we will sustain what we have accomplished and build on that to the next level. I think we're in prime position to do that. We're committed to doing that. And it doesn't take you to look very long. You see the board support that we have. You see the administrative team that's in place. Those are all indicators of our readiness to take that to the next level.
Dr. Green also stressed the importance of our urban core students and how their success within the district directly affects our greater Kansas City area.
Our challenge, our degree of difficulty is tougher because of that. We understand that. We've taken on that challenge, that we're mission driven in that area, and my colleagues who surround me are supporting me here. They're here because they know that The success of this district, in many ways, ties directly to their success in many ways in this community.
All educators, students, and parents within the district have seen vast improvements coming from the schools, and these improvements were obviously noted in the 2012-2013 Missouri state testing. A dramatic increase in students' achievements as well as unprecedented test scores have now enabled the Kansas City Public Schools to reserve their position from preliminary accreditation to exceeding the minimum requirements for provisional accreditation. Superintendent Green discussed these gains and mapped out a road for success for this school district. So watch out, Kansas City. Kansas City Public Schools may be the newest success story of the year. Stay tuned for more updates involving the accreditation status of our district.
Dr. Green continued focusing on the district's march towards accreditation at his 2013 State of the Schools address.
Morning. And it's a new day in KCPS. All right.
KCPS Superintendent Dr. Green had audience members who attended the 2013 State of the Schools address repeat his vibrant new motto. He spoke about the dark past of the Kansas City Public Schools and how he had to overcome the district's challenges.
Set a goal and made a promise. That promise was to restore your confidence and trust in the Kansas City Public Schools. And with that
goals of the Kansas City Public Schools were discussed in Dr. Green's State of the Schools and how this was a community effort.
All hands on deck. And all hands on deck means not just the Kansas City Public Schools. That means this community needs to get around the school district.
Kansas City Police Chief Darrell Forte was among the community leaders in the audience, and he discussed the energy of the improving Kansas City Public Schools.
There's an energy, and I think, I know. We believe in the system, we believe in the direction we're going. The Kansas City School District has always produced great people who've done great things, but the media doesn't always highlight those things. They look at the negative oftentimes.
Chief Forte also touched on how the achievements of the public schools directly affects his job.
It's directly linked. If you look at the data over the years, education level, especially dropout rate, impacts the crime level in the city.
As Dr. Green and his board and cabinet members continue to improve the strides of the school district, we remember his motto.
Morning. And it's a new day in KCPS. All right.
The Kansas City Public Schools has been trying to ensure that the new day does not include a state takeover. In late February, Missouri Education Commissioner Chris Nicastro presented a proposal to the State Board of Education that could delay any action of a state takeover. In her proposal, corrective measures begin at the school building level. Current law allows for the state to take over an entire school district. Nicastro's plan creates a 5-step ladder for school districts based on performance. Many elements of the plan Commissioner Nicastro presented to the board came directly from our superintendent's proposal to the state. Dr. Green and his administration created the Kansas City Public Schools plan called Continuing the Path to Excellence. Green says it's a proposal to continue the improvement of the school district without any intervention. Its goals is to set up the next steps KCPS and the community will take to build on the increase in student achievement.
In this plan, sought to approach a school the way we would a student. If a student were having difficulty and was beginning to spiral downward, we would take an approach that would, before the student reached the bottom, we would intervene. If we saw early signs, we would intervene and begin to surround that student with support and assistance to try to turn that student back in the right direction. We take that same approach with schools. So the intervention in this plan starts the moment that a school drops out of the fully accredited category. There's some moderate interventions that take place in the second level, which is the provisionally accredited, and then at the third level, which is the academically stressed level, there's significant intervention to prevent that school from reaching bottom, which would be the lapsed stage.
The KCPS plan, along with others, was presented to the community at a public forum on January 29th. That forum was also hosted at Paseo Academy. Community members listened to Commissioner Chris Nicastro explain all the plans the state was considering for unaccredited school districts. After her presentation, many community members took the opportunity to explain what they thought the state should do.
Inadequate state funding and inadequate state support is there's been instability in the district. There's been a revolving door on superintendents, there's been a revolving door on the school board, and now today, when we have stability, the biggest threat to stability is coming from the state.
While a new plan is under consideration, the state law currently allows students to transfer out of unaccredited school districts. Dr. Green says that law threatens the stability of KCPS and all other school districts.
And I'm very much concerned about what happens in urban education when if students aren't doing well, they'll tag it as a failure, and then by tagging it as a failure, they'll say now it's fair game for research. We will now use that geographical area as a laboratory to understand human behavior and understand educational issues. I'm troubled by that type of approach.
The fight for accreditation will continue throughout the year, and now new members of the school board have joined our team. On April 10th, the Kansas City Public Schools Board of Education welcomed new members and officers to the staff. Winning candidates Patty Manser, Amy Hartsfield, and Melissa Robinson were all sworn in as new members, alongside incumbents Gunnar Hand and Carl Evans. Manser and Hartsfield were both elected to at-large seats. Robinson represents Subdistrict 4, Hand represents Subdistrict 2, and Evan represents Subdistrict 6. In addition to swearing in the elected and re-elected members, the board reorganized its officers. Subdistrict 1 member John Heil was elected chair, replacing Eric L. West, who remains on the board. During the 2013-2014 school year, the district made some great strides, but the fight isn't over for our schools. Stay tuned to KCPS-TV for more information on our progress. Thanks for joining us for the KCPS-TV News Year in Review. We'll leave you with some of the community members who spoke at the Public State Forum held at Paseo Academy. Have a great day.
So what I'm saying is that this is a collective issue we need to deal with. I mean, our children are suffering because of this. And we need leaders that's going to basically address these concerns. And when you have people that's scared to speak up, and I'm not scared, because it's wrong. All these people saying they don't want our kids coming to their schools, then they need to address these issues with the banking association who are transferring these bonds out of our community into their communities in their schools. So I'll just say that as far as they're concerned with taking over the school district, they should sit down and talk to the Civic Council, the Downtown Rotary Club, and all these different organizations that sit on these bank boards. And I expressed these issues with William Ratliff, but I'm not going to bite my tongue because they know everybody that's hollering they don't want our kids. My son is in the school district. He does pretty good, but the bottom line is the Kansas City, Missouri school districts don't even have a computer link up. All these other schools got softwares in their schools. We don't even have that. But we need leadership that's going to address these concerns.
I have 2 elementary children that's a part of the Kansas City district. And what I've noticed, I'm very involved, and what I noticed is that you have a lot of educators, part of the district, that don't want to be there. That's the biggest problem to me. And as a parent, I expect the superintendent and everybody downtown should be responsible for who they hire, who comes into these schools, the counselors, the lunch lady, the janitor, whoever. You know, these kids are suffering. They're treated like they're adults. They're not adults. You know, if you have a problem with that child, am I too loud? I'm sorry. If you have a problem with the child, you need to discuss that with the parent, don't scold that child. Like my grandmother always said, they're mischievous. They don't know no better. And we as parents, we have a responsibility.
It's unfortunate that we're at this place because in my heart, I really believe that this district has earned accreditation. And it's unfortunate It's unfortunate that we have not been given what we've earned. And but I also think that we have some work to do, and I believe the district and the administration of Kansas City Public Schools has come up with a good starting point. It's a no-brainer. We want to do for ourselves. We want to bring our district and all the students in the district up to where we need to be. We have some work to do, but I think we've got a good start and we have a good plan.
Is we need to keep public schools here. We need to keep public in education. This is the problem. We don't want to take and privatize so others can make money off of us. The idea is we need help from finances that the state doesn't do. And we've lost more money through this issue or that issue. We'll train this way, we'll do that, we won't do this. The idea is let us do the right thing and make us proud to be here, rather than having some outside group do nothing but.
My comment is, it's criminal to have our children have the kind of education they are getting. It is criminal to have our children have the kind of education they are getting. Not my words, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s words, 1966, as he looked at the condition of the public schools in Chicago. I will address two of the plans that I have read, the CEE Trust Plan and the Kansas City, Missouri District Plan. I have problems regarding the way the contract was awarded, which I will not elaborate at this time period. What I will say, the team that was utilized, and I met with them, was not diverse. You brought in outsiders that had no knowledge of this community whatsoever. There are educational experts that have experience in urban education, and they were not included, nor were their plans and their successful schools examined. There's 3 schools that I referred to and the educators that have succeeded. The schools in Chicago were not examined. They have 100% graduate placement rate in all male high schools. They were not examined. Dr. Steve Perry's charter school, 100% graduate placement, all free and reduced lunch eligible students. Those would have been similarities. Dr. Steve Perry, parent of a 16-year-old mother. So not only does he know it by studying, but he lived the life. What I am saying, that plan is very flawed in many ways, and it has some positive aspects. But when you start out with a team that is not culturally sensitive,
and there's good things and there's bad things in many of those plans. But the one thing I want you to do is, as you look at those plans, I want you to ask yourself 2 questions and make sure you have the answers to those questions. The first question I want you to ask yourself as you're looking at these plans, is it really meeting the needs of our children? And if you think it is, then the second question I want you to ask yourself and have an answer to is, how do you know? Is it proven? Is it research-based? Is it proven based on best practices? How do you know that that plan is really going to meet the needs of our children? We have in Kansas City people that often say we have failing schools. I hear it all the time, and every time I hear them say failing schools, I do my best to correct it. Our schools are not failing. Our children are learning. Our teachers are teaching. And they're teaching with children that have many, many challenges. 90% of our children live in poverty. 24% are English language learners. Just about as many are homeless. So when they walk into that classroom, they're not walking into the classroom always ready to learn. Many times they come in hungry. They come from homes that have no books. They come from homes where the adults have priorities
stuck together in.
We've all been victimized by a rotating band of superintendents, their consultants, and carpetbaggers who come into this district to bring in their change, take their money, and leave. And I think for the first time, the current administration, we have a superintendent who wants to be here, who's committed to staying here. He knows what he's here to do. He didn't bring in 50 consultants with their hands out, waiting for us to open our wallets. He believes in our kids. He believes in the people there. I've seen the changes in my kids' school. There are better teachers. Some of the lesser teachers are gone. You've got a union who is allowing that kind of transition and improvement in the working people in our schools to take place. We've got the first stability in 30 years in this district. And because it's an elected school board, it's the people who vote for the school board who helped initiate that change. And I think it took us a long time to not vote for the next big guy with the big idea and the big consultants and have what was been referred to as us doing it ourselves, but everybody doing it in this community. But we really have the first success and the first stability that we've had in 27 years. I've been a Boy Scout leader, I've been a church leader, I'm a parent. Kids need stability, and they benefit from it and they feed from it. Families need it, and communities need it, and we finally have some semblance of it building here. I think we've got momentum, and I'm begging you to please let us see it through. Thank you.
Where except for Northeast Senior. I even went out there by Douglas Cemetery where they call it Dog Patch. Come on, I know my children are okay. This is all a political game that we are playing. And stop putting it on testing. It's not testing. It is not testing, I tell you. And Colorado proved it. They're not playing that game anymore that we're playing. So let's stop playing with Kansas City School District people. Let's stop playing with Kansas City School District children. We're somebody.
We need it. If a child came in my classroom in the morning and they were sick, there was a nurse practitioner right across the hall who could take care of him. If they didn't want to come to school because they were sick, we would tell them, come anyway, and we'll have the nurse practitioner look at you. She could write a prescription. We had outreach workers who could go pick up mom, take them to the pharmacy, pick up the prescription, come back to school, give the kid the medicine, they're back in class an hour later. These are the kind of programs we need. Why in the world this is being ignored? I think wraparound services has just been mentioned by some people as a, I don't know, it's a dangling carrot or what, but it really works, so please keep that in mind. I will testify to the fact that it works. The one other thing I wanted to say is the use of the term CEO is grossly offensive. Our children are not widgets. We're not making cars here. We're not manufacturing anything. We are educating our children. And how dare anyone...
And I have to say that I am terribly disappointed in everyone who stands here defensive of this district. I cannot understand how they cannot see the numbers the way I see the numbers. If you have an average ACT score of 16, when you take Lincoln out of the equation, how is that acceptable? Our children are failing, Ms. Flinders. They are failing miserably. I agree with Ms. Saunders-Brooks. It is criminal, the level of education our children have been getting. It's got to stop. Why are we defending the status quo? I am baffled. I need to understand from our current leadership, why are they so afraid of losing local control that they will put the children at risk? Is it not about the children? At the end of the day, they have to be literate, productive members of our community, and our graduates are not.
I feel so blessed that I got to come up here tonight. I was praying that I would, and I'm so amazed by the abundance in this city. I've been looking at this issue for the past couple of years from a unique perspective as a non-traditional educator. Currently, I am the Trauma Outreach Coordinator for Truman Behavioral Health, and I come here tonight to share with